for enhance framework, component library. Okay, that's a good way of doing it. So component library, yeah. For enhancing UI. All right, so we can still enhance our UI with our own custom CSS. No, why would we go with a framework, external framework like Chakra? Like there should be some reason, right? क्या possible reason हो सकता? Time save. Okay, right. Anything else? Because I mean, mostly it's gonna be similar CSS if you're going with just usual stuff. But yeah, there are certain changes that you can maybe maintain, but mostly it's gonna be same. So yeah, like it helps with time saving a bit, right? Efficiency and good with React. Yeah, it's like very compatible with React because it's a component based library on, right? So let's see. So if we go and search for Chakra UI, right? Over here, you can visit the documentation for today's session. Make sure you're doing most of the things with me so that you get a hands-on experience. Because it's gonna have a lot of things and you're not supposed to remember any of that, right? All you're supposed to do is you are supposed to go through the documentation and do all of this, right? Because it's not the only library for UI there are gonna be multiple with respect to React, right? So you just have to understand how you can read the documentation and you can start applying. But anyways, if we go back here, right? It says Chakra uses simple, modular, and accessible component library, right? So that's the something that you have to like keep an eye on. Ki it's a component library, right? Matlab, it's not like your usual library like Material UI and like Tailwind alone, right? So उसमें you just import the components, you just import the icons, and you paste it there. पर यहाँ पे क्या होता है you put everything in a component. तो Chakra is gonna be like a context only, right? जैसे context API में we pick our application and उसमें भी wrap it in a provider, right? Remember? Yes. So you're gonna have an application and what you do, you wrap it in a provider. ताकि whenever it needs something, it can get it from the vicinity. ठीक तो उसी तरीके से if we click on get started, you'll see कि once you install it, again installation is nothing, you will just copy and paste it. You'll see over here we import Chakra provider and we wrap it with the rest of our application, right? So shall we do this? Shall we do this? Wrap it in rest of our application. All right, so let's copy this. Let's go over here. Clear this. And then let's run this. Let's first, let's keep the installation ready. Hmm. Should be this 3D actually. Okay. And we'll paste this, right? So basically NPMI Chakra UI now. So let's press enter and started the install. Meanwhile, we don't need external CSS, so we can clear everything. Right? तो यहाँ पे भी we won't be needing anything with respect to these. I mean, we don't even use state. We might actually. Let's do this. And let's remove these also. Alright, and index.css also. Let's clear it. Main.csx.csx we won't be needed. Please. Okay. So back in over here, I'm audible, right, guys? You can someone quickly confirm. Okay. Because you guys are quite, तो मुझे लगा कि, alright. ठीक है. So over here, we have installed it. Next step will be to wrap at the root of your app. Where is the root of our app? Is it here? Is it here or in main.jsx? कहाँ है? Main.jsx. This is the root. This is the root. So what do we have to import? Import क्या करना है? Chakra provider. So Chakra provider, and this will be from your Chakra UI reactive. Right? So basically, we have imported this, and now we'll wrap our application. What is strict mode? Okay, the strict mode, it's kind of a testing which React does from its own end. And when your application runs, it runs your application once more from its own end, right? That's why if you ever try writing use effect in your application, and iske andar if you go and write a console, right? Console.log hello or something, you'll see कि एक बार तो use effect print करेगा, that's fine, but it will print it once. Is it compulsory? Not necessarily, no. No, but production may you would rather keep like development may it's kept keep you don't make unnecessary mistakes because we are already not using TSX or anything, right? In JavaScript may you can like क्या बोलते हैं उसको when we pass different data type to another one, it's not type coercion. I mean, it's loosely typed, right? So you can already you will be able to assign like if string is given, you will be able to assign number to it. तो यहाँ पे issue क्या आता है कि variables के साथ this is fine, right? Like variables as in let's say you have a and set a. So you have use state over here. So variables के साथ this is fine. You maybe do a set a and you set a string or something. But think about it कि if you have a component, right? और उस component में कुछ props जा रहे हैं. So in that case, this will become an issue कि if the component was expecting a number and you're passing a string, right? तो JavaScript तो ले लेगा, but this should not be the case ना. यहाँ पे भी this should not be the case. Use state का meaning था starting with a integer, but someone is passing string, right? So these things will come up as like shortcomings of JavaScript, जिसकी वजह से will move towards a bit stricter kind of setup, which will be TypeScript, right? So I hope you might have seen in your like I don't know if you guys also call it block plan or anything, पर उसमें देखा होगा कि in next sprint we'll be learning about TS. Seen it? Those sessions. Yeah. So it's only 2 sessions, I understand, but you will get the basics key how and what things. Okay, so basically that's why we need strict mode at least in here key whatever error or whenever we do something like that wherein use state was expecting an integer but आप string pass कर रहे. At least that error we get in development. That's why strict mode is kept here, right? Although if I remove it, it's not gonna like make any big of a mess, right? Removal will not make a big of a mess. If I go in app.jsx and if I type h2 hello, right, it will be still there, not an issue. Okay. All right. So yeah, we were at Chakra, yeah. So we have to wrap it in Chakra provider. So let's do that. Chakra provider, and after running the component, what was the next step? Running the component, running the command. After running the command, okay. So after running the command, you have to visit main.jsx, you have to import Chakra provider, and you have to put app in there. Right? Again, guys, I hope you have documentation open and वहां से follow करो. Right? Make sure you're doing that. ठीक है? Because in evaluation, trust me, it's like let me show you. It's like a very big library, right? यहाँ पे if you visit style system, right? यहाँ पे there's a whole lot of mess over here. उसके बाद you can have like it's completely inbuilt. ठीक है, तो it's not something that we expect you, or at least I expect you to remember, right? Because I won't either, right? ठीक है, so just go with it, and understand कि हाँ, where you can find things, right? If you want to update CSS, where you want to look, if you want to check the components, if you want to check the hooks, where you want to look, right? तो बस वो चीज अभी ध्यान में रखो। ठीक है, चलिए। So over here, have you all wrapped the chakra provider? Everyone, I hope not कि any error is there. हाँ, ठीक है, तो as soon as we wrapped it, did you see that it changed, like the CSS changed, right? Let's say if we had our usual app, and if I keep it in this fashion, right? So the CSS will be a bit different. पर यहाँ पे if I go back in the original format, CSS is by default now a bit different, right? तो wrap करने के साथ this means कि we have successfully started the, or like set it up chakra in our system. Now let's see what we can go on further. So yeah, let's explore. So this will be chakra based provider. It will might come up later. ये तब use होता है जब you have to pass like store kind of systems, right? So this should be familiar, right? ये structure should be familiar. Yes, just like Redux and all, just like context and all, right? ठीक है, उसके लिए बाद में आता है, अभी वहां तक। let's say we are doing it for read. um, sure, this is fine. Let's visit style system then. I mean, they've again changed the documentation. They changed the documentation a lot, I guess. कोई नहीं. So here's something that is called style props, right? Can you guess what style prop might mean? Because आगे चल के you'll see कि this is how chakra's component looks like, right? So you won't be creating div, you will be creating boxes, right? So does it make sense by reading it कि what this M with 2 might mean? अच्छा, guys, you have used any other library prior? I mean, I think in was it Unit 3 for HTML, CSS and like HTML and CSS, right? तो उसमें you might have used it. तो ये थोड़े से jargon से you might be familiar, right? Yeah, so this M might mean like M refers to value of theme space with a 2 in it. All right. So here we have a list of what the full forms are. So basically prop is M. So margin will be the name of that M, and the CSS property is margin. MT basically means margin top, MR margin right and all, right? And theme key over here means space. Anyone aware about what this theme key might mean? Like bootstrap, okay? And in bootstrap, what was it? Class. Okay. ठीक है. So think about कि you are creating your own like CSS library, right? So if it's predefined and you want user to only use your CSS, मतलब if you're using thing like this, you don't exactly need to create your own CSS files. Doesn't make sense, right? Right, क्योंकि you can customize these things. तो if you're giving user customization option, आप क्या करते हो, उनको पूरा autonomy नहीं देते हो. You give them option based on what designers picked. So there will be a possibility that there is gonna be a M, right? Let's say just defining it as a margin, and वहाँ पे they have stuff like let's say they have predefined pixels, right? So let's say if you're typing 2, it will say like 4 pixel, right? Or something, right? Or maybe if you're typing 1, it says 4 pixel. If you're typing 2, it's like multiple of that 1. So it's like 2 into m dot 1 इस तरीके से, right? So basically this will be 8 pixel, right? Similarly, if you go with ये, this will be like 12 pixel. You get the idea, right? तो ये क्या होता है? It's like by default configuration where if you give m as 1, it directly understands that you are asking for 4 pixel, right? So if you go with that, I like I'm not exactly sure, but if I remember correctly, Chakra uses like 4 space system. So yeah, the theme key here is ki if you give margin, it will provide space. Make sense? Ki if you give one margin, then it is gonna provide space from one in every direction. If you do empty one, it will provide space from margin top. Right? Theme key makes sense. Makes sense. Right? Similarly, if I scroll down a bit, you have the box. This time you have color, पर यहाँ पे theme की क्या है? This time theme key is colors. Right? Generally, CSS library use yeah. That's why I like generally say it कि yeah, that might be the case because I'm not sure कि चक्रा में कितना है, right? But yeah, generally yes. Right? Similarly, if you go for grading, it says none. Okay. And if you look for typography, it has like theme keys, fonts and all. Right? Like, काम करते हैं, let's quickly try these out. Right? Try these out for ourselves. एक बार. So let's, let's keep the documentation open. And amp.jsx में जाते हैं. And yeah, यहाँ पे let's keep h2 as it is. And over here, we can have a box, right? We don't have divs here, we have boxes. So again, we have to import them all from this Chakra React and all. So box, and this will be from @Chakra UI React. Okay. And over here, let's go and create a box. So box, and yeah, we could have copied it. Chalo, fine. Let's have global, and over here, let's give it margin of 2. Okay, so if I go back over here, you'll see ki it has a margin of 2 overall. Let's see what does that margin means. यहाँ पे let's type hello world, right? So you have this, and if I go here and if I write style, and let's say if I say margin is 4 pixel overall, right? Let's refresh it. Uh, Margin 4 pixel. Did we 8 pixel? Okay, let's try 8 pixel. Yeah, of course. So basically, I think 4 is the like by default unit. So if I keep m as 1, right? So yeah, you'll see that the margin over here is almost similar, right? And if I make m as 2 and margin as 4 into 2, basically 8. So you'll see that, yeah, this is how. So yeah, again, 4 pixel is what they are taking. Inspect it, please. Yeah, sure, 1. So if I visit elements, right? And yeah, I'm not sure. I think the color is different also. I'm not sure if it's midnight blue or something. Yeah. So yeah, why are we inspecting? Sagar, you wanna see something specific, like कोई specific doubt है? Oh, you might wanna see कि styling इस तरीके से जा रहा है क्या? Like M1 था so. Okay. ठीक है. So basically again, like when we used to write JSX code and people used to convert it into your usable format, right? उसी तरीके से there are things like webpack and all जो कि middle में काम करते हैं. What's gonna happen over here is this M2 is gonna convert it into a class, right? इस class में convert हो जाएगा and this class will be stored somewhere in your here @Chakra UI React. So maybe we can find it out node modules में जाके, but I'm not gonna find it out right now. But yeah, these classes will be present somewhere which is being installed in your system via @Chakra UI/React. Right? So this is how it all starts. Again, it's a box. So of course, somewhere we can find how we can give it a border, right? So color and background. Okay, let's go with background. So yeah, let's give BG as this. So yeah, यहाँ पे let's go with background as tomato. Okay, so if I go back over here, we'll have background as tomato, and rightfully so, right? Like this is a that element, block level element, so it's gonna take entire space. What if I want to apply padding? Can we at least guess कि padding का क्या होगा? Like acronym for padding. PD. P, चलो P ट्राई करते हैं एक बार. So P to works, right? So yeah, kind of some things which we can guess also. And color, okay, so let's see. So we can apply color over here also. Color, and this can be midnight, not midnight blue. Let's go with white. White. All right. So yeah, that works. Take similarly, let's see for more things. So let's go over here. You have gradient also. So what does gradient mean? Gradient मतलब? Okay, let's apply this and let's see. Let's see for ourselves. So let's say if I copy this, right? इसको copy करते हैं. Similar to box shadow. Not exactly, no. Can we write box inside div? Will it work? So if I make this parent a div, what do you think? Will this work? Right. So again, it's a component based library. So you can use it with whatever you want. No child div. Yeah, sure, why not? If I give it as a div, right, over here, and इस div को मैंने अपनी कोई property नहीं दी, तो I'm pretty sure it will inherit it. Right, so yeah, inherit हुआ है. ठीक है. Okay, हाँ, but the question might be कि yeah, we are not gonna create boxes always, right? The question might be कि if I have a div और उसके अंदर I have like multiple divs and all, so how do you style that? Was that the question? Like let's say you have hello one, right? उसी तरीके से you can have like multiple divs. You can have like a lot of divs over, and this can be two, this can be three, this can be right. So yeah, let's see how we can style all those. So what's the like properties that style in those format? Do you see anything in this documentation which does that? Let's say my question will be, I want to put each divs in a same line, like same line में. Home, hello one, hello two, hello three, and hello four. So what's the usual property that we use? CSS property, flex, flex. So यहाँ पे do you find flex anywhere? Right. In this right sidebar, you have layout width, you have display, you have flex box. Right. So if I click over here, it will scroll down. And yeah, over here, we have a flex. Right. So let's see. Let's get flex. Let's import flex and let's apply it. So yeah. Two ways है. One way, it's verbose way where we can apply like attributes directly, or we can go with a flex this system. So let's try both of them out. Let's pick all the div, right? Not all. Let's pick this box and let's make this as box. Because of course, if you want to apply CSS, you'll have to go with what this guy provides. So box is there. And did I miss something? Actually, not this. This is going to be the parent div. This one, right? And okay. So this is box. Let's apply display flex to it. So let's apply display flex to it. And over here, yeah, that works. Plus, let's see if we can apply like justify content, So yeah, that also is there. You can apply in like align items and center, and we'll do justify content as space around. Okay, let's go with that. And let's update these divs with boxes also. Right. Let's make them box, and over here, let's pick this actually. And इसको करते हैं हम लोग Mm, let's go with BG as uh, blue and padding as tick. So if you visit here, yeah, you have your like that structure, but this looks bad. All right. So yeah, you have your original structure. We can give this thing background also. So this can have a background of green, right? Green, yellow, so, right? And this may be if you want, you can give padding, right? So I guess it saves some time. You don't have to visit like CSS again and again. You can just import and you can just start typing without writing style and all, right? So yeah, we kind of created the nav bar over here. Yes. Clear, guys? Make sense how you can start applying stuff with this, right? So एक काम करो, try grid out from your end once. So basically grid में हमें क्या चाहिए? Like we need our usual structure wherein you have a box, you have a second box over here, and let's just copy this like this structure. So what's the structure? If you have four data and you are putting it in this format, what's the structure? Two, repeat. ठीक है, तो try it out. Try कि how you can apply using this chakra. Figure out कि where the grid documentation is and try apply quickly. And once you're done, let me know. And you can paste your like code in chat also. I can I guess copy and we can play around it. Okay, simple grid. ठीक है, works correct Praveen. Did you guys try it? Great. Yes. Verbose, I'll pick it up. I'll pick it up. Don't worry. But just quickly let me know if you tried at least or not. The great thing. Guys, waiting for your code. Then people, again, what happened today? क्या हुआ है? Why you guys not responsive? Like usually you guys speak a lot, but today not so much. Saturday, I guess. I mean, does it matter? Saturday है तो session है ना? It's not a PSC. And it's a session of Chakra UI, right? So it's like maths के classes के बीच में drawing की class रख दी है. It should be fun, no? नहीं? Okay, ठीक है चलो. Wait, ठीक है चलो let's see this. So yeah, let's go over here and let's find out where grid is. So grid layout. Yeah, over there. So you'll see this a lot, key verbose and shorthand. Anyone knows what this means? Acha, what's the difference that you see between this and this? First one, you're writing like everything with what the name they possess. And second one may you try writing short forms as much as you want, like as much as you can. Right? तो verbose का मतलब क्या होता है कि you write everything in detailed fashion, in explicit fashion, if I may. Right? You define everything and you say, yeah, this is this and this is where I will give some property. Whereas in shorthand, you just try doing it quickly. Right? It does not mean कि हाथ छोटे हैं. It means कि you're just trying to write it quick. Right? तो flex के लिए we went with that. Let's try grid के लिए. Let's try this thing. So verbose trigger. Right? No, shorthand trigger. So over here, let's go and let's write. Are all CSS available in verbose? No, you can see. Like it will be present in two fashions. It depends on how you want to use it, right? It will be present in verbose, it will be present in shorthand. And if you want to find shorthand, you can find it over here, right? So, chalo, let's see for grid, right? So let's see for grid. If I go and write grid over here, right? So yeah, this basically defines the grid that we are gonna have. And let's just copy this. Let's just copy this and let's paste it over. Right now, what I want is the structure that we decided upon, right? So, कहाँ चला था? Yeah, here it is. Right. So, do we have like grid template columns anyway? Here, grid template columns. It's under template columns, right? चलो उसको try करते हैं. Don't exactly have anything over here. ठीक है, so let's go with template columns directly then. Let's go with template columns. Grid is not imported. That's why I think we are not getting. Yeah, we'll have to import grid. All right. Okay, so template columns. Huh. And I'm not sure इसके लिए भी we have like shorthand or no template columns like repeat and all. Props will only work with grid component, right? I guess let's try it out. तभी पता चलेगा. So let's say if I go and write repeat, but it will expect a string. So let's write repeat, and this will be 2, 1 fraction, right? पर उसको हमें बताना पड़ेगा कि what will be the width. तो let's see how do we set width over here. This will be here layout में. So width W 100%. Let's go with that. Uh, let's give it a width of not 100%. Let's give it 60%. And margin, I want to keep it auto. Right? Let's see if auto applies or not. Right? So I guess it applies. Right? And we have everything in the format that we wanted. Right? We can write a gap over here, and I can say it's 2. Right? Not 2. Let's go with 5. Yeah, about that also. Right? So now at least basic layout setup we can start creating with Chakra UI. Chakra ke saath. I mean, I hope you're getting the idea ki how this is, right? Oh, gradient we didn't discuss. चलो ग्रेडियंट पे आके डिस्कस करेंगे आराम से पहले इसको देख लेते हैं व्हाट वी हैव लेफ्ट ओवर हियर so these are borders and all. I hope you get the idea कि how you can start doing this CSS, right? It's not much, but yeah, shadow. All right, so box shadow, uh, shadow, where's the shadow? Position is also here, so POS absolute top and left. Okay, let's go and go with our nav bar then. तो ये रहा हमारा nav bar, and what are we gonna do with it? We wanna position it, right? So yeah, let's position it. So let's go with POS. Again, if we type it in separate lines, that might look much better. Yeah, over it. Take it. So what we want is we want POS, and that will be fixed, right? Then what? Position fixed, then we will get some problems, right? First thing first, width हमको 100% करना पड़ेगा. So width, this will be 100%, right? This percent is not there. Oh, in strings, of course. So let's give that in strings. हाँ, ठीक. So yeah, I guess it already took care of that top and right. That's great. That's good. But below box is like it doesn't has any space, right? तो हमें जाके उसको will need to give margin top, right? So I think margin top के लिए we write empty, है ना? And like 4 into 10, 40. So let's give it 10. Let's see. Okay, not works. Uh, 4, यार 100 के लिए कितना चाहिए होगा हमको? Like 25, right? 25. So if I refresh it, okay. Not working exactly as we're intending, no? Empty. Huh, that's why we give margin top, no? Take them. Sure. Let's see. Margin and padding. Uh, empty is margin top. Okay. And if this as 100, we will have to see for ourselves. We're giving this box, no? Where is this box? Here it is. If यहाँ पे we can see margin top 100 pixel, it kind of says it's deprecated. We have to give in string. I mean, okay, chalo, let's. But yeah, I think Saiful ठीक बोल रहा है. I think it might not be supported till 100. Right? पर पता कैसे चलेगा? M2 will have to find this thing. We'll have to find like the theme space, right? So let's see. Theming. Yeah, let's go with that. Uh, theme space. Okay, nothing. Space. Hmm. अच्छा, ठीक है. I think it works in box only. Uh, it shouldn't though, right? अच्छा चलो, if it works in box only, let's see if grid के साथ we can do something. Right, where is grid? Yeah, grid layout is over here. So layout. 100. What will maximum value? Yeah, that's what I was looking for, Uska, but I think they haven't provided a doc for that. What's the theming is? It's getting overlapped with margin auto. Yes, yes, exactly. That's what's happening, I think. Right, right. Very good. So if I write it after margin auto will apply horizontally, and whatever change we do, that should apply vertically. Yeah, very good. Yeah, exactly. It's working with the margin auto actually. So fixed, and where is the top and left property? Uh, we'll have to find position. Right? Position is here. Okay, it's like top and left only. So let's see. Let's give it top of 0 and left of 0. Right, ठीक है, that works. Very good, Ritika. So yeah, that makes sense actually, no? Because if you're applying like margin top priorly, right? And उसके बाद if you're applying a margin auto, तो margin auto controls everything, right? हर एक direction control करता है. So if you want to be directional, first you will apply something that will be applicable universally. So everywhere margin left, right, horizontal, everywhere it's applying this. And उसके बाद we are specifically changing a specific margin. So this makes sense. Yeah, correct. All right. So yeah, that works. And let's see if it has actually any like dependency. So let's say if we type 1000, right? So it will be here. So I don't think it has any upper limit or something. Let's say if I type 10,000. So yeah, कोई upper limit नहीं, right? So that works. All right. Take it. So back over here. Yeah. Let's try something else. So yeah, box shadow. So we have text shadows also, right? पर अभी के लिए let's go with this box shadow, and we're gonna find what this excess and all means. So, they haven't explicitly mentioned it. Oh wow. अच्छा, यहाँ पे it is like in the diagram itself it's mentioned. So let's say कि if I go with dark, I guess dark IG. Yeah, LG, not IG, it's LG, dark large, I guess. So let's go with that. So uh, there's no option to close this. Anyways, so yeah, box shadow. Let's go with each boxes. So box shadow, and this is gonna be dark LG. So dark LG, and where can I pick the color? So rounded MD. Okay, let's see for now. ये अभी क्या आ रहा है? So this looks in this way, but how do we decide what color we have to put behind? Let's see. See. So color gray. Okay. Color white. I think it's picking this color. No, but that is for text. Pop shadow. Okay, let's pick some BG color then. BG is tomato already. So we'll go box shadow. Mm, I guess it doesn't has, it just has black shadow. Or maybe, okay, let's see. Maybe it's a possibility कि वो already retain कर लेता है अपने background. So let's go with Excel. Let's try that. इसके लिए let's try box shadow. This will be XL. Was it? Let's see. So yeah, I guess it's kind of adapting. मतलब whatever the color is, based on that, it's giving box shadow ताकि it looks fine. We can try it in this fashion. एक काम कर सकते हैं. We can make the background color to be black and उस पे test करके देख. So let's say if I make it as midnight blue. Wait, not this. मुझे करना था. I had to do this for here. So this was supposed to be midnight. Mhm. So in this case, do you think like I think the box shadow is kind of visible, not exactly, but I guess right. But yeah, how do we override this thing default value? You guys want to try out documentation? एक बार check करो अपनी तरफ से. Maybe you can find something out. कि how we can override the box shadow का color on it. Guys, 1-0. Reverse checking. Okay, fine. नहीं नहीं विक्रम वो तो काम करेगा because we are going with direct like CSS right. तो वो तो काम करेगा. Direct CSS will work already. I wanted to test कि I mean do we have some feature over here कि box shadow के साथ if I put a color maybe we can get a color. Right, I was thinking in that terms. But I guess we don't maybe. PG Gray 50. I mean if I write BG Gray 50 like dot 50 over here वो buttons के like these divs के वो change कर देगा background. And if I write over here वो इस box का कर देगा. So it's in default terms. I guess they haven't given that a thought. But ठीक है. If you wanna apply like where is it? Box shadow in that format, you can go with your usual stuff, or maybe let's say dark LG, and उसके बाद if I do right. Okay, kinda doesn't work, but worth a shot. ठीक है, तो you can like you can directly go with whatever like CSS that you usually put, so you can just go with 10, 5, and 15, and create a something. Right, so that works. ठीक, so if nothing works, your usual CSS is still there. Yeah, of course. ठीक है, give it a try. अच्छा चलो. So now check something else. We have kind of tested all of these. Uh, the box shadow, other props. What do we have in other props? So transition and animation, that's something that you guys are gonna apply. I'm not gonna apply that. Uh, yeah, we have hover and all. So the pseudo classes and elements over here. Okay. Let's have this. Let's copy this. Actually, what does before does, guys? Before क्या करता है? Like in CSS, like usual CSS. Was it something कि if something is written over here, उसके पीछे it places the content that you're given? Yes, then they should be after also, no? अच्छा चलो. Let's try this button out. Let's try this button. So if I go here and if I place this button and we broke the CSS, why? Let's see. Import button. Yeah, exactly. Import करके. So yeah, hover also works, and they have like their hover is better क्योंकि उन लोगों ने transition use किया. You can see that, right? If I go and write my hover over here, if I write our usual hover, कि let's say press me, यहाँ पे if I apply style and hover, right? Not there hover. अच्छा, how do we put hover like over here? No, no, I'm trying like our hover, like जो हम लगाते हैं अपना CSS. We have to target. क्यों? We can't do like pseudo classes or elements. Okay. Okay. So if I give it a class name, right? Button. And then if I go and write it in app.css, वो काम करेगा ना? That should work. Right? App.css. All right. Dot slash assets and main. I want app.css and app.css में जाके app.jsx is over here. We'll pick the button. नहीं, we are not doing tailwind. I'm going to show you something. Like they already have stuff by default. Right, वो दिखाना चाह रहा हूँ. एक second. Yeah, add class name I guess. But ठीक है. Let's say कि in this class name I go and apply hover, right? And जब hover कर रहे हैं तो I want to change the background color to blue, right? And by default button पे let's keep the background color as red. राइट. तो अभी इफ आई hover over it, right, ये जो ब्लू आ रहा है इट्स लाइक क्लंकी एकदम. इट्स लाइक क्विकली इंस्टेंटेनियसली इट चेंजेस द कलर. दैट्स व्हाई this might not look better in front of something like this जहाँ पे you can see there's a kind of a transition over here, no? You guys remember transition कैसे लिखते थे, याद है? Tell me, right? Transition, and then you write the seconds you want it to transit. Let's say I write uh, ease in 2 seconds, right? So let's say ease in, and after that we are writing 2 seconds. Take, so in that case, if I click over here, it will happen, right? But 2 seconds काफी ज़्यादा हो गया. Let's write it as 0.5 seconds. Right? So if I click over here, it changes in that fashion, right? उसी तरीके से this is also changed, but this might be 0.2 or something. Let's see. That one. So it looks better rather than usually जो हम बनाते हैं, तो that's there. So यहाँ पे they have a, like applied padding and all. So that's why you can skip this many lines of CSS by directly using like your usual this stuff. Right? Plus, this is something that UI UX designer actually sit and create. So ये जो like this has been tested on people and it makes them think yeah this works. So yeah, this is good. Check. That is there. Let's see gradient. So gradients, I mean style props may we are I guess almost done with everything, right? If we left something, you guys can try it out now. let's see gradient. So gradient. Oh yeah, of course, this thing, right? So yeah, like this looks nice, I guess. So let's copy this BG gradient, right? Let's copy this and let's put it in our nav bar, right? अपने nav bar को थोड़ा better करते हैं. So if I go over here, where's my nav bar? Here. And if I apply this, and if I remove my background, right? Although already removed Borak because we have applied background gradient later on. But yeah, this looks much better, right? Similarly, I can apply that on like the parent also, right? Then how to apply on click here? On click as in button में. Okay, ठीक है. यार एक तो I actually should start using prettier. Huh? You don't think? चलो. So let's say कि what I want is क्या चलो इस बटन पे let's make this background gradient change, right? मतलब if I click on this hover me button, I want these background gradients to change. So sounds like something that state management needs over here, right? तो चलो एक छोटा सा toggle feature बनाते हैं. So let's say कि we have a let toggle and set toggle. We use a state, use state. And over here, let's keep it false. Everything else will remain same, guys. It's just CSS that we're changing. ठीक है, तो let's say कि this background gradient I want to change based on that, right? So we can put this in this, right? But it's breaking, right? So what can we do? How can we make it dynamic? कि background color के अंदर जो linear लिखा है हमने, this gets updated. We should put a curly braces on that one, right? इतने particular code पे रखना. ठीक, and here I can test कि if toggle is true, then I'm gonna apply that. Else I'm gonna apply something else. So let's figure it out. Let's pick designer based only. We are not gonna create our own. So let's pick this. Let's pick this CSS. ये वाला pick करते हैं. And we don't have to pick the entire stuff. We can just pick the latter one, ये वाला. And let's copy this. Right, and over here we can paste. Check. So if I visit beat, here by default it's false, right? False है. So the latter gradient is getting applied. Let's keep this thing in this fashion ताकि we can at least see what's happening, right? So toggle is false, नीचे वाला apply हो रहा है. Now what we can do is button पे we can go and write on click, and whenever this is getting clicked, I'm doing a set toggle, and this will be not off toggle, right? So if I click on this button, are we changing the like gradients and all? Right, disco light. So yeah, that's that. Right? Like it still remains the same. है ना? We can check active and all also. So let's see. Like we know the convention that it's following. So hover ठीक है. Let's say कि if I want to apply active, right? So yeah, you can see that active is also present here. So let's apply active. Whenever I'm doing an active background color, we are gonna change it with कौन से कलर में करना है? I mean the color scheme by default is teal, so tomato I guess, and color let's leave it be. So whenever I'm clicking on this button, that's it, right? Sweet. So I hope this makes sense. Yeah, you can work around CSS with logics also. Like तो ये autonomy जो होती है वो like JSX gives. Yeah, you can work around everything very easy. है ना? All right. Anything specific that we are missing, at least from layout point of view? How to put transition on gradient changes? So transition again, I'm not very good with CSS. I guess you guys might have gathered it from like the two blocks that you were with me. But chalo, let's try. Let's try. So let's say ki if I want to apply transition whenever we are like doing this. So I guess you can apply it overall on this box itself, right? So यहाँ पे if I go and write transition and whatever CSS you are doing, we can say whatever CSS you are doing, just do a transition over it and it's going to be ease in and let's say 0 point or let's say 2 seconds. Is it S? Right, so if I click over it, I guess it's not working. Ease in. Okay, all ease. Right, let's try that. So all ease. Infinite. Okay. सारे ट्रायल एंड एरर कर लेते हैं infinite. ठीक है, not exactly good. Anything else? Any other ideas? Specify PG. Like this is the background gradient that we want to change, right? I think actually this should be applied जहाँ पे वो transition हो रहा है, right? But transition is taking place over here only. Okay, I'll need to specify the background gradient of. Let's see. So BG gradient. Is it working? I don't think so, no? All right. चलो let's see if transition का इन लोगों ने कोई feature कहीं पे दे रखा है specifically तो oh this is cool. Responsive gradients ये रहा. So कहाँ है responsive? You can specifying the gradients at different breakpoints. अच्छा अच्छा, my bad. PG linear and that isn't all 2 seconds is maybe work in hover. नहीं hover के साथ नहीं कराना है ना. I mean the problem statement is that when we click on button तब change कराना है. So ठीक है, maybe I'm not honestly I'm not sure, not very good with CSS, so let's do all is. Yes, that's not working either. It takes in 4 seconds. Yeah, not bad. Chalo, anyways, I'll try figuring it out. Maybe आप लोग भी try करना and we'll see कि if that transition can be applied over here. चलो देखते हैं. But yeah, we came across something over here यहाँ पे. Basically, it says responsive gradients. You can control the responsiveness of gradients by specifying gradients at different breakpoints. What might this mean? What might this statement mean? You can control the responsiveness of gradients by specifying the gradients at different breakpoints. What are these breakpoints? Responsiveness. Okay. अच्छा, responsiveness क्या होता है? What's responsiveness? Screen size. And what are different breakpoints? Different breakpoints क्या होता है? Screen size. Everyone is aligned. चलो let's see responsiveness styles पे. तो अच्छा यहाँ पे this is the thing that I was talking about. Remember style props में we had that the theme key, right? तो इसी तरीके से in hindsight those theme keys are written कि if this is that तो उसको ये वैल्यू देंगे, बाकी चीजों को ऐसी वैल्यू देंगे. ठीक है, तो यहाँ पे there are some default breakdowns. EM, I'm not sure about EM. I remember REM used to be one REM equals to 16 pixel. तो EM, आई थिंक EM was supposed to be double of REM, right? एक सेकेंड, EM into REM, EM, let's say 1 EM, 1 8 REM, calculate 0.63. अच्छा, आई थिंक दे बोथ आर सेम. अच्छा, सेम है, दोनों ही सेम है. REM and EM are same, but like EM changes with respect to like what responsiveness is there. तो let's say कि if you have given a box EM size, तो अगर आप छोटा करते हो तो वो पेरेंट के हिसाब से it goes and becomes smaller. रूट एलिमेंट नहीं, लाइक आई थिंक डायरेक्ट पेरेंट को पिक करता है. Right, so these are the breakpoints. Base basically 0 AM. Again, this thing I know for sure. Ki your it's REM, where are pixel. So basically, you have like 16 pixels in one REM, right? So one pixels, no, like one REM into pixel. Right, so you can see that 16 pixels are basically consist of one REM. So if you go over here, that means कि if something is 30 EM, right? In EM and REM are same, तो कितने pixels होंगे वो? 1 EM equals to 16 pixel. तो 30 EM मतलब 23. 30 into 16 होगा कि नहीं होगा? 480, right? Right. So basically like the normal like small screen size, right? Small screen size जो होता है वो 480 होता है. 480 पिक्सल से स्टार्ट होता है, राइट? सो अगेन इफ आई गो ओवर हियर, it says कि yeah, small screen size will be like 480, then there is 48 EM. You guys want to guess कि 48 EM कितना होता होगा? I don't want to guess. It's 768, right? तो 768 is where like 720 के ऊपर वाला, right? 720p के ऊपर वाला जहाँ से सपोर्ट होना स्टार्ट होता है स्क्रीन के लिए, right? That's 768. And then you have like 62 and 80. So 62 will be like our usual screen size. So that should be around 1000. So 62, 992. And then you have like 8. So 80 is over it, 1280. ठीक है. तो basically these are the breakpoints that we have. You'll see these in an array format. So basically what happens कि whenever you go for CSS in with respect to responsiveness, राइट? रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस के साथ जब सीएसएस में जाते हैं तो यूजुअली सी कि वी गो विद लाइक एरे का फॉर्मेट एंड ऑल, राइट? तो अभी विल सी दैट लेटर ऑन विद योर, विल विजिट द लेआउट्स एंड ऑल. बट यू कैन कीप दिस इन माइंड कि यूजुअली क्या होगा, लेट्स से विड्थ है तो इट कैन बी एरे, आई थिंक it's supposed to be an object only, but let's keep it in this format. So over here you can have like different set of responsiveness, right? So I guess I did opposite. I suppose width is an object और उसके अंदर भी बोल्ड है, right? तो फ्रॉम हेयर फर्स्ट एलिमेंट के साथ हम लोग स्टार्ट करते हैं कि जब स्मॉल होगा, लाइक जब वो फुल साइज होगा तो कितना रहेगा. तो लेट्स से कि जब फुल साइज है तो हम बोल रहे हैं इट्स अराउंड 100%, राइट? उसके बाद इफ इट गेट्स 1 digit स्मॉलर, राइट, तो वी वांट इट टू बी लाइक 75% एंड देन लाइक 50%, राइट? तो ये चीज लेट्स क्विकली ट्राई इट आउट. तो लेट्स विजिट स्टाइल प्रॉप्स. यहाँ पे देयर शुड बी रिस्पॉन्सिवनेस आल्सो. लेआउट, I saw somewhere responsiveness. Let me check it out once. Um, अच्छा चलिए, कोई नहीं, कोई नहीं, चलो यहीं से देख लेते हैं. तो रिस्पॉन्सिव स्टाइल्स यहाँ पे, या हियर इट इज, हियर इज द एग्जांपल. right? To make the width responsive using array syntax, here's what you need to do. So basically, if I copy this box, right? If I copy this box out, and if I go over here, and maybe if I put this box over here, so yeah, this is the box. And let's say if I go and make screen size smaller, right? So with the like screen, this box screen size will keep on getting smaller and all, right? So that is there. So यहाँ पे देख रहे हो कि it keeps on lying over each other. Right? So that's the property of Lex. It tries to wrap everything inside parent only. So yeah, that's there. Maybe we can try it out with the grid, right? Grid. So can you guys figure out from reading documentation ki how we can change grid, right? Let's say ki this is the array where you have these sizes, and by default grid is going to show 3 columns, and जैसे जैसे small करते जाएंगे 3 2 1 ऐसे होते जाएगा. You guys want to try finding it out in documentation कहीं पे? Try please once. एक बार try करो. Yeah, like you get the idea, right? This is what it represents कि आप responsiveness क्या चाहते हो उस चीज की at particular heights, at particular size, right? Base up. So like again, uh, if you guys are confused, guys, यहाँ पे देखो. So over here, this is the breakpoints, right? So that will apply from here onwards. Let's say कि if we are going with responsiveness, and I'm pretty sure कि this works with everything. तो इस array में क्या होगा? This array is gonna hold these stuff, right? 1 2 3 4 5 and 6 properties over it, right? And it will start from base. तो मतलब जैसे आपने base में if you said कि base में मुझे क्या करना है? Base में मुझे like 40 पिक्सल रखना है बॉक्स का साइज. एंड देन एज इट बिकम्स अ बिट बिगर, तो नेक्स्ट स्मॉल में मुझे क्या करना है? 60 पिक्सल रखना है. देन आई वांट टू कीप इट लाइक 80 पिक्सल, राइट? 100 पिक्सल, 120 पिक्सल. तो इस तरीके से फ्रॉम स्मॉलर साइज टू बिगर साइज इस तरीके से बढ़ता है. तो दिस इज द ग्रिड. जस्ट थिंक कि हाउ यू कैन अप्लाई द एरे ओवर, राइट? और वो एरे कैसे होना चाहिए कि मतलब फॉर स्मॉल स्क्रीन इट शुड बी लाइक one column repeating. For like let's say medium, it should be like 2 column repeating, and for large it should be like 3 column repeating. So that this is what I want. You guys see that if it works for you. Done? Anyone? Okay, chalo, let's see. So again, let's say if we apply this exact thing over here, right? So I would go and create an array over here, right? And we start with small screen or large screen. Starting कहाँ से होती है? Hello, people, am I audible? Guys, am I audible? Um, I'm audible, right? हाँ. So yeah, where were we? Yes. So it starts from like small or large. ठीक है बोलिए. Getting started. Style system. And we were at responsive style. It starts from small, right? Small से start होता है, right? If you like ever forget it, यहाँ से ध्यान देना. Starts from small, right? So when it's small, what I want is I want like the repeat to have one fraction only, right? Right. So I'll say कि I want to repeat just one with one fraction. Yes. Similarly, for like अभी small से नहीं start होगा, it will start with base, right? तो zero से. So the second property that I'll put here, वो small होगा, right? So in that case, what I want it to repeat, and this is going to be like 2 comma 1 fraction. तो फर्स्ट वाली प्रॉपर्टी फॉलो अप होगी फ्रॉम 30 EM और 0 पिक्सल टू 480 पिक्सल. सेकेंड वाली प्रॉपर्टी फॉलो अप होगी फ्रॉम 480 पिक्सल टू 768 पिक्सल. And then third property, if I go and apply, right? If I go and apply third property, let's say repeat, and this is 3 comma 1 fraction. So in this case, what will happen? 768 से वो 992 तक apply, right? So if I go and check this out, let's say, we close this, if I inspect it, right? So if I start with this, right? Like if it's like, so can I open the ranges? Acha, coin. I can copy the range. I can copy the range and I can paste it over so that you can have a look at what ranges are, right? So I can have a like H3. उसमें I paste this uh, in this fashion. Second. So yeah, like we are at third point, so basically 768 से apply होगा. Even I can't understand यहाँ से. So it will be between 480 and 768, जो three columns है, three columns, right? So if I keep on moving it, जैसे ही it will touch your 480, it will become 2, right? So 480, between this it will be 2 and 480 के नीचे it will go and become 1, right? So if I make it a bit more smaller, as soon as it touches 480, it will become 1, right? So yeah, I hope you get an idea of how this responsiveness is working, right? Similarly, let's say we want to apply it for colors also, right? So let's say I'm going to do it for color also. So what I can do over here is I can say background color or BG, and this is gonna be like blue and yellow and teal, right? So currently we are at small size, so it's blue, right? But धीरे धीरे जैसे जैसे will keep on getting bigger, it will like keep on changing the colors itself. Clear? So yeah, this is how you can go about applying responsiveness. Make sense? Make sense? Right. So thoda again, once you start creating stuff, then only you'll get an idea of what this is. And once you stop creating stuff, you'll forget about it even after 10 days, just like it usually happens. So ठीक है. Just keep this in mind कि you should be aware about कि how you can go on about reading documentation. right? So these breakpoints and all, एक बार चक्र आ गया तो you will get an idea कि how things work when people create a library, उनके mind में क्या चलता है. तो most of the other libraries will follow the same structure only, right? It's not just कि चक्र ही इस तरीके से सोच रहे हैं, they'll follow the same structure. तो बस once you get aware about the structure, you can go and use any other like documentation and all. जिस तरीके से let's say you learned about npm, right? How you install and all. So now if I tell you कि this is the library, can be it any library, you can start using it, right? अब जाओगे, you'll see कि what's the running command is, what's the installation command is, what's the import is, and how to use it. Yes, so it's just like that. So it doesn't matter कि we are specifically learning this or that. You can use anything if you at least know कि how you can find this. Clear है? I mean, half of the time this is not even used, right? Figma based layout use होगा तो they already pick these things and वो अपने खुद के CSS देते हैं, right? So that happens. All right. Any doubts still here? I hope not, because again, it's documentation. Anyways, any doubts, guys? No? Okay, so let's have a break over here. Let's have a break of 5 minutes, and then maybe we can look into further things, right? Like components and books and right. We can give it. All right. Okay. So yeah, let's have a 5 minute break. Everyone be back by 4. 1 4. right, run back. ठीक है, तो I hope at least a bit making sense. Chakra UI, right? And based on documentation, like quite literally, you can do anything that is present over there. So it's just about documentation, and if you're aware about it, you can like use anything, right? Okay, so let's move away from style system because basic CSS we have done a lot. That's fine. Let's see what we have under these components, right? So let's keep chat box over here. Yeah. So under this component, we have Chakra UI provides pre-built components to help you build your projects faster. Here is an overview of component categories, right? So like there are lots of component, right? So let's say if you have this accordion, right? So I hope you understand what this is, right? You have FAQ sections, right? FAQ sections in your system, in your web pages, right? So उसमें क्या होता है? If you click on a certain panel, that specific panel opens up, right? So let's say if I go and copy this, right? Let's go and copy this. I guess we should create separate files for these. पर यहाँ पे we kind of messed it all up. So अच्छा, let's do one thing. Let's take this all up, right? And let's create like components for them. Right? तो यहाँ पे let's have a component folder component and let's have what was the first thing called style system. Let's have style system examples dot jsx and const style system, and this was supposed to return a div, and उस div के अंदर we can have all this like whatever we had over here we can export it, right? And app.jsx में we can come and import it, but for now we don't exactly need it, तो अभी import नहीं करते. Let's keep the set toggle also there. Set toggle also here, but in case it might break, so let's do import use state from React. Check it, just to prevent the breakage. Use state. Check it. Now let's create another component and let's say CUI and components dot JSX, right? So we can say the const export const testing components and over here. Yeah, so now we can start testing all these components that we have. So check. For creating nav bar, separate templates are there in Chakra UI. Huh, you can find several stuff over there, right? So you can get all like you have this tab system, you have alerts and all. देखते हैं, not we'll not see everything, but we'll see something that kind of seems like intuitive. तो एक बार accordion देख लेते हैं, just for the starting कि yeah, this is something that we might use, right? So let's say if we copy this, right, and if we paste this over here. So again, we have imported a lot over here. I'm not sure if I here. Let's import them. So what did I name it? I think testing, testing components. Yeah, and beat में I hope we're not getting an error. ठीक है, we're getting according not defined error. So this might be just for import errors. So we might not have imported stuff. Yeah, these imports are also to be imported. So chal, let's import them. Let's import them. Let's import them. And if I go back again over here, if I refresh it, box is not defined enough. चलो देखते हैं क्या imports की क्या issues आ रहे हैं. So it has boxes also, which apparently we haven't imported. Is there anything else? H2 तो हम already use कर. चलो, so let's fix that. Let's import box also. got it. Okay, so you have this accordion structure wherein if I click on this section, I'll get this data. If I click back, it should close, right? But it's not. Okay, acha. It's based on the other thing that is open. Yeah, makes sense. Makes sense. So, like you might have seen, there's an FAQ section wherein you have that. So nothing big. It starts with this tag accordion, and in which it has a specific accordion item that is holding keys, each all stuff. So let's say if I want to create one from for myself, right? So again, the structure is in this fashion. Accordion is a parent, and uske andar you have accordion is parent. You have accordion item, right? You have a accordion item, and then inside that you have first the heading or whatever you're showing as an accordion button. Let's have that. You have like a h2, and you'll have a accordion button over here, right? And they have given it as box, so let's go with box only. We can say FAQ3, right? Nothing shows up on UI for now because we're doing it outside. Let's take this just item because accordion is already there, right? And यहाँ पे ले जाके let's paste it already. ठीक, so we have a FAQ over here, the basic structure, but it's not like drop down अभी नहीं हो रहा है. तो ठीक है. Let's skip this. Let's have accordion icon. Right, let's have that. So accordion button के अंदर ही they have kept the accordion icon, right? So we have this button over here, and they have like span, flex, and left and all to fix this, right? Yes, CSS fix करने के लिए. So let's pick that. Let's pick that, and let's put that also. All right. So kind of similar structure, right? And now button is there, so we'll have the panel also, right? So over here we can have after H2, we can have like a accordion panel, not item, accordion panel, and over here we can have like 40 or something, right? So if I click over here, that works and that works. Take so again, components, they are already predefined. It could have taken a lot of time for us to write it from scratch, but with the usage from there, it doesn't take as much time, right? So yeah, of course, it saves time. That's for sure. Okay, let's see something else. So let's say if I want to check not just that, let's check this spinner out, right? So have you seen this somewhere? कहाँ पे? Currently, if we uh, although given that you guys have seen Redux and all, right? So usme we have like we are maintaining different states. Error aa raha hai, so we are showing error. If it's loading, it's loading, right? So can we apply loading in our system? It's something that will make it look better, right? I mean, this from documentation you get all this, right? So I'll just erase this. This is fine, right? Documentation पढ़ के तो you can do this, right? Accordion and all. I'm just erasing it. Okay, let's say that over here, sorry, over here I have like a let loading, and I have like a set, right? And over here I'll have a use state, and by default loading is going to be false, right? Loading false hota hai by default, like you don't start loading as soon as the page loads. Tick. Let's have a use effect over here, and what do we want? What do we want? Chalo, let's have like as soon as the page loads, we're gonna run this. And यहाँ पे क्या करते हैं? Let's have a set time, right? And in this set timeout, let's keep it for 4 seconds. So 4000 milliseconds works. Do we write MS? Right? Check it. So over here, as soon as our page starts in this formation, right? As soon as our page comes to be, हमें क्या करना है? हमें loading को करना है true. Make sense? He will start the loading as soon as user has visited the page. So what I'll say, यहाँ पे what I want is I want to set the loading into true, right? चलो true, right? And as soon as we have some data, right? We have some data. What we'll say, कि basically will set the loading back to false, right? So loading toggle कर देंगे. This piece of code makes sense, guys. By default, loading is false. जैसे ही page loads starts loading, we are setting the loading back to true, and 4 seconds के बाद we are setting the loading back to false. Right? तो यहाँ पे what we can have, we can do a bit conditional rendering. We'll check if loading is true. Right? We'll have to do it right colon. So we'll check if loading is true. In case loading is true, what I want to do, I want to show loading this indicator. Right? Else what I want to show, I'm going to say the data loaded. Right? So if I visit my page and let's say if I refresh it, right? So as soon as page starts loading, set loading is set to true, right? It's going to be loading for 4 seconds and uske baad it should get updated, right? But apparently it's not. For let's keep it. Set loading, we are setting true over here. Set timeout. अच्छा ठीक है. I guess toggle करने पे again we're missing something. So yeah, like loading has started, and like after 4 seconds the data will be low. So this makes sense. Yeah, we have loading feature like this. Things take time to load, right? So over here, what we could have done, we could have just imported the spinner, and a spinner component we could have used, right? So let's go over here and let's import spinner. So spinner, right? And spinner is imported from Chakra UI. And over here, what we are saying, rather than showing this, हम क्या कर रहे हैं? We are showing the spinner over here. Take, so if I go back over here, it spins, and then once the data is loaded, it will show the loaded data. Right? So I hope you understand that I'm trying to replicate fetch system over here, right? This is where you will fetch the data. And अगर उस fetching data में time लगता है, so then you will, in that case, you will show spinner, and उसके बाद you can show the loaded data. Makes sense, right? The spinner makes sense. All right. So isme again you can do some CSS and all. Again, that I'll leave you guys to it. We have already seen it in style system key how you can apply it, right? And this spinner looks good, no? You will look badhiya like that. So let's say if I copy this and if I paste it over here. So yeah, we'll have that good looking spinner over there, right? And once the data is loaded, it will show that data. Okay, so you can apply these cool features by using Chakra. Let's see if there's something else which needs logic. Because if it's non-logical, you can find it out directly, right? Let's say this skeleton is there, right? So it's again, this is also loading kind of feature, right? You might have seen this in YouTube actually. If you open YouTube and if it's taking time to load, तो ये skeleton structure दिखता है. So again, this is gonna have exact same logic. जब तक load हो रहा है, तो यहाँ पे rather than showing anything else, you'll show the skeleton, right? So let's say कि we copy this and loading के time what we are doing, rather than showing spinner, हम क्या कर रहे हैं? हम skeleton दिखा रहे हैं, right? And ठीक है, and let's import it. So skeleton and yeah, तो जब तक वो load हो रहा है, it will show the skeleton and उसके बाद it will show the data loaded. So why is this used? Again, if you might have seen it on YouTube, you should have seen कि it only shows over the boxes that are only gonna come up, right? तो let's say कि एक video यहाँ पे आने वाला था and another was gonna come up over here. तो जब तक load हो रहा है, something like this structure will show and उसके बाद इसके ऊपर the next data will show. Right, so that layout you will have to create only, right? आपको ही create करना पड़ेगा. तो but it's something that you can already create, right? It follows your usual structure only, कुछ अलग नहीं, right? So that you can create. ठीक, again, let's see if there's something जिसको थोड़ा सा logic चाहिए. Let's say alert. Here again, alert you can already do from your end. Right? Um, and I guess progress में क्या? हाँ, this looks something that we can apply, right? ये कुछ logical सा दिख रहा है. चलो, so let's have one more component, right? Let's have a progress component, progress.jsx, right? Let's export it, export const progress, and and over here we'll return something, right? App.jsx में will go progress, progress path, progress component. I guess not exported, exported. ठीक है, we don't want to name our component with something जो कि already चक्रा में भी है, so let's not do that. Progress, let's call it uh, data progress, right? Sure. So let's have this as data progress, right? And we'll not need this. We'll import data progress from there. Okay. So over here, you have this progress bar, right? I mean, the CSS makes sense कि you will import the progress and उसमें जो भी value होगी out of 100 it's showing over here. That makes sense, right? That makes sense. But in which case we might use this? Any idea? Let's say कि we have an object over here, right? Let obj अच्छा चलो, आई थिंक वी कैन यूज स्टेट ऑल्सो. थोड़ा हेल्प करना मेरे को, ठीक है? लेट्स से कि वी नीड टू डाउनलोड 2-3 थिंग्स एक साथ, राइट? तो वी माइट नीड टू क्रिएट एन ऑब्जेक्ट ऑफ डेटा ओवर हियर. तो लेट्स से डाउनलोड and let's say set download, right? And you have use state over here, and this is going to be an object, right? अभी let's say क्या रखें यहाँ पे, pdf1, राइट? एंड इसको कुछ वैल्यू देते हैं, तो लेट्स से कि इसको वैल्यू देते हैं हम लोग 30, राइट? यू हैव pdf2, इसको वैल्यू देते हैं 40, एंड यू हैव pdf3, इसको वैल्यू देते हैं हम 10, एंड यू हैव लाइक चलो इसको 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 कर देते हैं mp3, राइट? एंड इसको कर देते हैं mp, right? And it starts with 5, right? So you have like basic structure over here of stuff. ठीक, अभी क्या करते हैं, लेट्स कमेंट दिस रिटर्न एंड यहाँ पे हाँ विल हैव टू मैप ओवर इट. I wanted to update these values. पर ऑब्जेक्ट फिर मैप करना मुश्किल हो जाएगा, राइट? चलो अभी के लिए ये मल्टीपल स्ट्रक्चर पे थोड़ी देर बाद आते हैं. ठीक, लेट्स नॉट कीप दैट आउट ऑफ ऑप्शन. आते हैं पहले, लेट्स नॉट मेक इट कॉम्प्लेक्स फॉर आवरसेल्व्स. अभी पहले स्लो सिंपल से स्टार्ट करते हैं. तो सिंपली यूज स्टेट में एक ऑब्जेक्ट था विच हैड अ की इन हियर एंड इट हैज सम वैल्यू, राइट? बेसिकली कि कितना वो डाउनलोड हो गया. तो इफ आई वांट टू शो दैट डेटा ओवर हियर, राइट, हाउ कैन आई शो दैट? शैल आई import progress? Let's do this. Let's do this. So let's have that import from Chakra UI. And over here, in return, I can go and write progress, right? And this will have the value of, I want to have it value of download.pdf1. Acha, I guess we can have multiple then. I was thinking of mapping over it, थोड़ा मैं उसको और डायनेमिक बनाना चाह रहा था, बट ठीक है, दैट्स फाइन. वी आर गेटिंग सम एरर, लेट्स फिक्स दैट क्विकली. रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट में एरर है. रिटर्न स्टेटमेंट में क्या एरर है? लेट्स रिफ्रेश इट. कोई एरर नहीं था. आई गेस आई हैड टू जस्ट रिफ्रेश इट रियल क्विक. तो ठीक है, लेट्स डू दैट. एरे यूज करता, बट अगेन आपको इवैल्यूएशंस में फायरबेस यूज करना होता है ना, इसलिए. कोई नहीं, चलो. सो दिस प्रोग्रेस बार स्टार्ट्स फ्रॉम दिस, राइट. लाइक बाय डिफॉल्ट उसने इसको इसको 30 वैल्यू दिए. लेट्स से भाई टर्न इट इनटू 10. दिस विल बी 10, राइट. सिमिलरली लेट्स से कि वी हैव दीज मल्टीपल प्रोग्रेसेस, राइट. हमारे पास मल्टीपल प्रोग्रेसेस है. व्हाट आई एम गोना डू, आई एम जस्ट गोना copy them, and this will be PDF2. This will be like MP3, and this will be like MP4. But थोड़ा सा visualization में might be a problem. Let's quickly edit them. Uh, एक काम करते हैं, let's edit them with what we have learned so far with style system. So everything, how can I give margin top? Empty, empty, and let's say 10 हर जगह. So empty equals to 10, and let's say empty equals to 10, and let's say empty equals to 10, right. So we have this structure. This is fine. Now what we can do, we can have a use state over it, use effect over it, right. And इसमें क्या करेंगे, we will have a set interval, right. एक set interval रखेंगे, and over here what we'll do, after every 1 second, after every 1 second we'll update all the data, राइट. तो हम क्या करेंगे, हम सेट डाउनलोड पिक करेंगे, एंड उसके अंदर विल पिक द ऑब्जेक्ट, एंड उसमें pdf1 pdf1 विल बी अपडेटेड विद डाउनलोड डॉट pdf1 है, राइट. लेट मी जस्ट कॉपी दिस. बाय बॉटल, let's have that, right. And let's have that, and over here what we can do, original value पकड़ते हैं. So we'll have the original value download dot pdf1, and इसमें क्या कर सकते हैं, we can plus plus, right. Similarly download dot pdf2, and इसको भी कर सकते हैं हम लोग plus plus. Similarly we can do for this also, download dot pdf, this is mp3 plus plus, and this will be download dot mp4 plus plus, right, kind of like this. So we refresh it, uh, it should like keep on changing, but हम re-render वापस reset कर रहे हैं. ओ ठीक है. Anyone getting what the issue is? What's the problem over here? Right, हर change में we are updating it. Let's keep it an empty. ठीक है. So in here you'll have your loader wherein you'll keep on updating the data, right. So that download feature you can have over here. Again, you can like have a drop down maybe over here also. Like you can go crazy with this. You can have like multiple stuff over here. You can have a drop down, and you can take it as like option as like internet speed or something, right. And let's say ki option may we can have like 4G, it 4G, and let's start with 5G actually. Option 5G, right. And you can have option of 3G, 3G, and from over here we can get the value, right. So value, this will be like 5G. Getting it कि मैं क्या करना क्या चाह रहा हूँ, मतलब कहाँ जाना चाह रहा हूँ. आई होप यू आर गेटिंग इट, राइट. 4G, एंड लेट्स से कि इसको हम लोग कर देते हैं, लेट्स से इसको हम कर देते हैं 3G, राइट. तो ऑप्शन को विल हैव टू get the value. So let's say on change, and handle change, handle change and handle change में uh, function handle change, and over here we can get the e. And we can have a state for this, right? So let speed comma set speed, and this will be use state. By default let's say कि speed जो है वो है 10, right? तो यहाँ पे what we can do, we can add it up with the speed, right? कि उस speed से बढ़ गया speed, and we can have like that speed over here also speed, and similarly we can have it like over here speed, right? अभी थोड़ा slow रखते हैं इसको, right? So if I refresh it, right, it will start with this speed 5 के साथ it will start, right? But it kinda is not getting updated. Hmm. Use state we are keeping it at 5. Speed is there. Speed is gonna be 5, but this should get updated. Speed dot. Listen, speed की spelling ठीक है ये. ये speed पढ़ने में कितना बेकार लग रहा है. SPEED. Shouldn't be double S double PED. Anyways, dependency. अच्छा चलो. पर यहाँ पे डिपेंडेंसी का मतलब नहीं बनता है. Uh, we have to keep on updating it. Speed 5 and downloaded PDF 1. This was supposed to get updated now. Hmm. Speed set speed is not used. Is that the case? Like if we don't ever use set speed, वो बाकी चीजों को change नहीं करने देगा? I don't think so. चलो कोई नहीं. Let's do one thing. Speed plus speed. Increase the speed also. नहीं, that actually doesn't make sense. Right? एक काम कर सकते हैं. What we can rather do is maybe download के basis पे we can change it. Right? Double dependency है ना? Let's start. ठीक है. तो अभी डबल डिपेंडेंसी वो हमें दे रहा है, तो हम भी उसको रीरेंडर कर रहे हैं उसके बेसिस पे. ठीक है, थोड़ा जिटर इफेक्ट आ रहा है, बट आई गेस इफ वी स्टार्ट क्लीनिंग इट अप दिस माइट बी फाइन, राइट? सो लेट्स क्लीन इट अप. लेट क्लियर इंटरवल is to set interval. When we are returning it, we can basically interval id, right? Return, this will be clear interval. उसमें आ जाएगा आपका इंटरवल. right, let's refresh it. ठीक है, अभी the interval will get cleared, and using the speed, but I didn't exactly want it to go this way. ये empty array से ही start होना चाहिए था, like honestly. We return the callback. Yeah, we have. Let me check. Let me check. If I keep it as plus plus only, and if I refresh it, let's remove this one. Right, this keeps on updating. अच्छा, maybe you guys were on to something. Let's say अगर हम speed को भी प्लस करते हैं साथ में. हाँ, download.pdf 2 plus speed. This actually doesn't make sense. It should get updated. Let's see. Plus We're using set download, and this is the original value that we are picking, right? अच्छा एक काम करते हैं, let's not pick it directly, let's pick it from state, right? So let's say यहाँ से pick करते हैं, right? In case it's trying to play with us, uh, we'll pick the download, and from here we'll do download dot pdf one is equals to download, or we can say plus equals to your speed, right? Similarly, download dot pdf 2 plus equals to speed, and download dot mp3 plus equals to speed, right? Download dot mp4 plus equals to speed. Okay, let's see. We're having a whole bunch of cannot read properties of undefined reading. PDF1. This is a number. We have set speed. क्या गलत कर रहे हैं guys? I'm not sure. Like see, we got stuck at a very basic thing. It's not something that is very hard. Chakra से भी related नहीं. We got stuck at very basic thing. Cannot read properties of undefined reading PDF. अच्छा. Any thoughts? Make +5 instead of speed to check. I mean, currently, is this a correct way of doing it? Like state को define करने का तरीका. Like, is the state fine? Why are we getting this PDF1 error? Remove the download before PDF1. Why? This download is gonna be object, no? So what if after we have updated it, we are returning the updated download? Right? वो return statement नहीं था हमारे पास. ठीक है? Anyways, still it's not working as it should be. Set interval के through speed pass. Set interval के through speed pass. Okay. और उससे क्या होगा? चलो देखते हैं. Set interval के through FB pass speed. अच्छा, let's change it. Let's quickly do a handle change. So set speed, and we want to set the speed to e dot target dot value, right? And what's this e dot target dot value? It's like directly it's a value. So यहाँ पे let's make it like 15. Let's make it like 10, and let's make this like 5, right? And यहाँ पे how do we convert everything into a number? Right? ठीक है. तो I guess we can pick the speed now, right? That's fine. And based on speed, we can change the intervals. So we can have the speed over here. And let's say if I pick 4G and like 5G and 3G. ठीक है. And we have to update this on the PDF. So okay, object पे आते हैं एक बार. Let's do a quick debug over here, and let's do a quick debug over here. Let's have like speed as like download as 10, right? So this download is gonna be there, right? Let's remove everything else. एंड हाँ यहाँ पे अपडेट करने का ट्राई करते हैं। तो इन दिस सेट इंटरवल केस राइट, commented out everything, set interval, and over here what we want to do, we want to pick uh this will take like 1000. Let me see. Now where what we want to do, we want to pick our set down row, and इसमें we want to do down row plus speed. So if I refresh it, sure if it's kind of it, is it not supporting the speed? Is that the case? I'm not sure. Uh, use clear interval, but yeah, clear interval won't exactly make sense, no? Clear dependence from speed. Download plus speed. Okay, I'm not exactly sure what's going on. इसको थोड़ा debug कर लेना, right? Let's quickly discuss one of the few books क्योंकि I guess we've spent like a lot of time. But you got the idea what I was trying to do, right? तो इसको थोड़ा try करना अपनी तरफ से complete करने का, and we'll have to figure this out कि why this plus is not supported, right? Because if I go and do not just speed, if I go and do 5, right? So in cases of interval, it should keep on adding 5 in it, right? But that's not working. So उसको थोड़ा check करना पड़ेगा कि what's going on in hindsight. It might be a good problem to solve, right? चलो उसके बारे में बात करते हैं, ठीक है? And all right. So yeah, again, there will be like multiple components over here that you can use, right? You'll have icons, you'll have like forms even, right? Check boxes and all. So you can use all that. Let's see. Let's pick one of these books, right? And choose them. So out of these, in your notes, there will be two books. I think use disclosure is going to be there because it's like one of the most important book this like Chakra gives, right? So, what basically this use disclosure hook is used for, again, it's a hook not given from React, from Chakra UI, and it gives like three scenarios, right? It gives open, close, and toggle scenario. So, why would you need something like this by reading this? It is use disclosure is a custom hook used to help handle common open, close, or toggle scenarios. It can be used to control feedback component such as modal, alert, dialog, drawer, etc. So have you used like or at least created something in these patterns? Modals and all. Anyone? Uh this first evaluation we had. So few of you guys did that. Okay, when we clicked on show detail, उसी पेज पे a small div came up over it, right? So it's that thing only, right? है ना? है ना? Right? ठीक है. So let's see what it does. Let's get this use disclosure. So let's get it in our system. Uh, let's have like disclosure and CSS, right? And export const disclosure component. This will be better. Yeah, and let's attach to app.jsx. Disclosure component. Then, right. Take it. So yeah, let's figure it out from this only. So we'll have to like kind of import use disclosure. So let's do that. Import use disclosure from Chakra UI and let's see what it does. So if I go over here, And let's just copy this, right? Let's just copy this code. Come up over here and we'll have these things, right? So yeah, so these are basically methods that it's giving is open, on close and all. These are provided by use disclosure. So over here we have buttons, right? So in button we have a on click which says on open and it basically says open drawer, right? So it will like these all three are going to be like a flag only. So just say we are clicking on this button, right? This on open function will have some value, right? So you can see over here the on open, right? So this on open parameter that it's taking callback function to set a truthy value for the is open parameter. So it basically sets a truthy value, right? And over here you have a drawer, right? Drawer are basically like drop downs. So यहाँ पे क्या है? In this drawer you are using a attribute which is called is open. It's like a toggle. तो यहाँ पे ऐसे ही कुछ हो रहा है कि जैसे आपने बटन बना रखा है, right? And on click पे आपने क्या किया? You like set toggle. Of course, nothing like that is there. But let's say कि you have this, right? So you're doing something like this only, right? And based on this toggle, you have let's say you have a select tag. So based on this toggle, आप क्या कर रहे हो? You're checking कि like do we have some value or not, right? So not select is not the good example. Let's say हम draw use कर, right? Let's say drop down करके कोई feature बना देते हैं. So let's say we have a drop down and इसमें हम लोग check कर रहे हैं कि like is the property true. तो let's say open करके कोई property हम बनाते हैं. We'll check कि if our toggle is true, right? So we'll keep it as open, else we'll kind of close it. तो बस वही चीज हो रही है यहाँ, right? You have like on click on open if this is true, तो is open will test it and अगर वो true है तो this thing will get open, right? And basically on close क्या करेगा? इस चीज को again toggle कर देगा false में, right? तो बाकी चीजें like they are from the drawer parameter that it gives, but let's go and see. So if I refresh it, I think we haven't imported all these, so let's import them. Use disclosure है, we have button, so button will import, button will import, we have drawer. Yeah, this should be over here, no? Maybe they are. I guess they haven't. All right, chal. So drawer and we'll get drawer overlay. So drawer overlay and we have drawer header, drawer header, and we have drawer body. Drawer body. I guess nothing else. So if I go back in here, let's say if I refresh it real quick, okay, few more errors are there. Let's see. So drawer content is not there. Drawer content. Okay, let's import it. Drawer content. All right. ठीक है, तो अभी है if I click on open drawer तो it basically draws this thing up, right? यहाँ पे kind of like a sidebar. So open drawer and it will draw it. ठीक. Again, you can find how this orientation and all can be changed. Let's say if we search for drawer, right? So you'll get all of these orientation over here, right? So based on that, we can have the, let's say if I open it, तो यहाँ पे ये आ रहा है. Let's say if I want to open it from bottom, if I open it इस तरीके से, so in that case we can copy this code, I guess. So it has the values over here, bottom and open. Maybe we can check. तो drawer में ये रहा, and it has like placement. By default उसने placement right कर रखा है, and they're changing it. Yeah. तो हम क्या कर सकते हैं in this where was it? Placement. It's in drawer यहाँ पे, right? So we can change the placement. We can change it to down, right? So now in this case, if I refresh it, if I open drawer, uh, was it capital down? सारी properties कहाँ है? अच्छा no, it's bottom, right? तो down नहीं, it's bottom. All right, ठीक है. तो अभी try करते हैं. If I open it, हाँ, it opens from bottom. right? If you have top over here, so it will open from top. ठीक इसी तरीके से like not just for dot you can have for other stuff also. Let's say we can search for modals, right? So here's the modal, right? Again you can have this, you have on open and all property. Let's say मैं ये वाला modal copy कर लेता हूँ, button में already have, right? button में on click on open ही कर रहे हैं, I guess यहाँ पे भी हमने वही किया, right? And let's say we have this and drawer we are kind of, ठीक है, we'll have to import all that. So let's just copy this and let's just paste it over here. Right after a comma, we'll paste it over. ठीक है. So if I go in here and if I refresh this, I guess some error is there. Let's fix that. Console. Lorem is not defined. Lorem, right? And refresh it again. Module does not provide an export named Laurent. Oh well. Uh, does it not? तो इन लोगों ने क्यों यूज कर लिया फिर नॉर्मल? अच्छा कोई नहीं, कोई नहीं. We can have a P over here and we can have that count. So P and we can have like lorem. Okay, that's fine. We have our own tools at disposal. Alright, so if I again refresh it, now we have open drawer and if I click on it, you have this model pop-up over here. Right? The open drawer and this model pop-up is there. And you can either close it or you can do a secondary action, right? So let's see what the secondary action thing is. Secondary action is over here, this button. Acha, so based on this, you can you can use again another on click, on close, whatever. Like you have a whole lot of stuff over here, right? Hooks में, where was our hook? Use disclosure, right? So आपके पास like a lot of boolean values are over here which you can use for your reference. Clear? So like everything is okay, right? So like again, the whole point of this lecture was to get you guys accustomed to कि yeah, this is the documentation. Everything is there. You don't have to remember anything, right? All you have to remember is कि what's the name of this library is and you can search for it, right? Chakra नहीं, Chakra UI. If you can search for it, you can open the documentation, not just in evaluations, even in interviews, right? So it's not expected कि आपको सब कुछ याद है. But again, if you use it often, you'll get accustomed to it. I don't exactly use this often, so yeah. Right? I like to write my own CSS, भले ही कैसे भी लिखूं मैं, but yeah. ठीक है, so I hope now you guys can open and you can understand कि yeah, what you want to use, how you can use it. Everyone can play around with it. If I tell you कि yeah, you have to implement this component, you can go about it, right? Some components might lead some logic, so you can apply those also. Yes? No? Anything? हो जाएगा? All right. ठीक है. So